nice to have the Red Sox back on track. You couldn't get the sweep in the Bronx, but you take the opener here. A bit of a nail biter here tonight. How about Garrett freaking Whitlock at the end here tonight? Man, oh man. Guy's got pure ice cubes in his veins. My goodness. That was a clutch inning for Garrett Whitlock, but good game overall here tonight. A couple of big flies was all you needed here. It was a bullpen game here today. You'd had Bernardino starting things off. Richard Fitz coming in after that. Bit up and down for him. Unfortunately, it looks like we got some bad news for Richard Fitz. I'll get to that in just a little bit as we're going over the game here tonight. Could be some implications for that. If you weren't watching here tonight, it looks like Richard Fitz has some kind of an injury. Hopefully it's nothing crazy, but I'm not feeling too good about it. I'll tell you why in a little bit. But Whitlock, clutch, couple of big homers tonight. Roman Anthony, Jaron Duran. Jaron Duran is alive, ladies and gentlemen. We were just talking about him this past weekend. I'm saying, man, what is going on with Jaron Duran here? He's looking a little cold. I feel like he hasn't done all that much. You're having a lot of other guys stepping up over the last couple of weeks. And so Duran, he kind of blended into the background, but you're starting to see, those that cold spell coming through. And but tonight, he dug himself out of that hole here tonight against Tomoyuki Sagano, man. I was talking about Sagano here yesterday. Crafty son of a gun that guy is, man. He was in Japan for so many years. That guy just knows how to pitch. He's not going to have the best velo. He's got some okay stuff, but he plays with a ton of different pitches. He locates well. He changes timing. He's just a menace out there. And he had so much success in Japan with that kind of a strategy, right? Changing locations, changing speeds, keeping hitters just off balance. Sure, he has been prone to the home run ball this year, which we did see that a couple of times here tonight, but he's just been tough. And the Red Sox, they couldn't really do anything against him the last outing. And then here tonight, thank goodness for Duran stepping through there, because who knows where we'd be right now if you didn't have that big fly. So good for the Red Sox to finally overcome Tomoyuki Sagano. But let's get to it here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to it. We have a few things to talk about here tonight. We're going to talk about this bullpen game. We're going to talk about the offense here. I see a lot of you in the chat. How you doing, everybody? Hope you're having a good day. Hope you all had a good start to your week. If you are with me live, thank you for joining me. If you are listening the next morning, hope you're doing all right this morning. Hope everything's going well. But let's get to it here. Let's get to the bullpen game. And Bernardino started off well. Threw an inning, gave up a hit, couple of strikeouts. Nice and tidy for the most part. Nice to see Brennan Bernardino coming back from AAA. And he's been pretty solid here, right? I love me Brennan Bernardino, man. Sure, he's ran into a couple of tough outings here this year, but when he's got himself right, this guy's very dependable. But then in came Richard Fitz. Had a bit of trouble, but the stuff was looking pretty good overall. He went 4 innings, 2 hits, 3 earned, 6 Ks. Hey, 6 Ks, not that bad over 4 innings. Not bad at all. Second inning, Colton Cowser, man. This guy was all over Richard Fitz here tonight. Hung a curveball to Cowser. Roman, we'll get to Roman here in just a little bit when I start talking about the offense. But Roman did lead off the game with a home run. There was some history behind that as well. We'll get to that. But after the Roman home run, hung a curveball to Cowser. That made it 1-1. Third inning, he completely lost command. Kind of wonder in hindsight. Well, hold on. I'll get to that in a second. He got a couple of outs. Gunnar with the walk, though. Mountcastle hit by pitch. Kobe Mayo with the walk. And then Cowser coming up yet again, had a base hit. They made it 2-1. Couldn't put him away. Had him on a 1-2 count. Left exchange up a little too up in the zone. And Cowser was all over it. But then the fourth inning, struck out the side. Fastball was looking pretty good here tonight. A couple on the fastball. The breaking stuff was looking good with Fitz. Had a strikeout on the curve in the fourth. Fifth inning, he struck out a couple of more. One on the sweeper, one on the slider. His sinker was looking all right here tonight. He had a strikeout there as well. He was getting some pretty good a swing and miss on the breaking stuff here tonight. But then the sixth inning, Kobe Mayo up at the dish, threw a pitch to Mayo, and after the pitch, Fitz just immediately looked at his arm. I thought maybe he looked at his hand at first, and then at the replay, I was like, oh, nope, he is He is looking at his arm. He is looking at the forearm. He is looking at the elbow. And, yeah, not feeling good about that. Not feeling good. When you get a guy that immediately looks at the arm like that, I don't think that's a good sign. Hopefully it's nothing. Hopefully, to me, though, it's so funny with injuries, man, because so many times it doesn't need to look like a big deal for it to actually be a big deal, right? He wasn't like agonizing in pain by any means. He just looked at his arm real quick and he was like, "Oh, what was that?" So many times that's kind of ends up being a big injury, and hopefully it's not. But I would imagine at the very least, it's some kind of a strain in the elbow, in the forearm. Hopefully it's not any kind of a tear. I would feel horrible if that's what it is, man, because Fitz, this guy, he's been battling all year. He was looking great in the early going, strained his pec, and then he finally got back. He was having issues, went back down to the minor leagues, came back, went back down. He's been back and forth, up and down. I would hate for Fitz to have an injury. Hopefully that's not the case. I hope he's fine. Hopefully everything's good. But after all my years, I'm not Gandalf the Grey over here, but I have watched a lot of baseball over the years, and that doesn't look very good. So if that is the case, if he is indeed, even if it ends up being hopefully just something minor, but then again, how much time are you going to miss? If it ends up being like he misses a month, well, we're almost at the end of the year here. So I would imagine Fitz at this point, I don't see how he's going to be able, again, we got to see the results. We got to see what's going on. But if it is something serious and it ends up just being like he's out for 4 weeks, well, I don't see how you can count on him at all for the postseason. There's no way. So I feel like no matter what, he's probably going to end up getting shut down, even at something minimal. Hopefully he's all right. It's nothing long term. But if that is the case, listen, Kyle Harrison, people were speculating if he was going to get the start here today. He got scratched from his start in Worcester. I was talking about that yesterday. I'm saying to myself, well, I don't think the Red Sox, because when you look at Harrison, when you look at the numbers, they look all right, but he has been dealing, with the location, has been walking a few guys, nothing crazy by any means, but has been battling the command a little bit. That tells me he's still trying to work on things mechanically. And I don't think the Red Sox, I don't think they want to rush him into anything, right? Unless they really have to. That's where I start to think. If they weren't willing to go with Kyle Harrison here today, are they hesitant on going with him at the major league level? Or is there another guy that could maybe get the call, who right now has got a big old swing and miss fastball, struck out 9 batters in 5 innings in his last outing? And that's Mr. Peyton Toley. Really. I'm honestly thinking, could he have a shot here? If they don't want to rush Harrison, if they feel like he still needs to work on a couple of things, maybe Toley could get the call here. We will see. Obviously, there's layers to this. There's obviously more things that need to happen. We need to figure out what's obviously going on with Fitz first and foremost. I'm starting to wonder if Toley could maybe get a phone call here. Hey, we're gonna need you up here, man. We're gonna need you. We'll see. I'd love it. But obviously, a lot needs to happen before that is the call. Let's get to it here. Moving on. Let's get to the offense. Here. And, overall, it wasn't a great night for the offense. Wasn't a great night. 11 strikeouts, only 7 hits, but they made a couple of them count. A couple of big shots were the story here tonight. Before I get to those, though, we do have a word from our sponsor. I'll be right back.
Okay, KP, this is your first Arena Club experience. We're going to open a slab pack together. So first off, we're going to buy one of those $25 slab packs, and we get to see what is in the pack. There it is. The Grail, which is the best card in the pack and worth the most. There are some other cards that we're chasing, and you can see the entire lineup so that you know what you're in the running for. There's the Yamamoto signed card. Now, let's open up our pack and see how we do. We have ourselves a really cool graphic, and then a Shohei Ohtani 50-50 card from last year. What do you want to do? Should we sell it right back to them for 16, or should we keep it?
You should give it to me. I'll keep it.
Good answer. Fine, I will give it to you. Since the Blue Jays didn't get Ohtani, you can get this 50-50 card instead. Use the code FOUL, F-O-U-L, to get yourself 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase. Yes, you get to keep that card if you want it. They send it to you. FOUL at arenaclub.com/foul.
Alrighty, getting to the offense. Like I said, not a great night overall. 11 strikeouts on the 7 hits. But Roman Anthony getting it started here the right way tonight. Leadoff home run, made it 1-0, but there was some history behind that home run. The youngest player in Red Sox history to hit a leadoff home run. 21 years old, 104 days. The last guy was Bobby Doerr. 21 years old, 116 days back in 1939. And then you also had Mookie that did it also at 21 years old. At 21 years old and 349 days. So, pretty good company. Pretty good company. We are just all witnessing the Roman Empire right before our eyes, man. The guy just finds a new way to make you just gasp. Every single night, it seems. What can you do? Third inning. How about Connor Wong here as of late? Connor Wong. I can't believe it. Connor Wong is this is what I need from Connor Wong. I don't need him to go out there and be, hitting 800 with a 2000 OPS. I don't need that, right? But at least just do something with the bat. And he's been doing that here as of late. And he just kept that going here tonight. Now, he got a little help off of Gunnar Henderson not being able to make the play in the third inning. Hard hit ball to Gunnar at short. And then it deflected off of him, went into the outfield. And then Gunnar kind of gave up on the ball. But Connor Wong, the one underrated aspect of Connor Wong, in my opinion, is the athleticism. He has speed. You don't usually see that with a catcher. I think that's just because there's this stigma with catchers. And I think that's starting to change here. You're starting to see more catchers these days that are getting a bit more pep in their step. Now, not Cal Riley by any means, but, you're starting to see more of these guys that are coming up from the minors, right? One guy I think of is Harry Ford, one of the top prospects in the game, one of the top catching prospects, right? He's good defensively, but he's also got speed. So you start to see more of these guys, right? Anyway, Connor Wong, he got to second base. Then Duran with the walk, but you weren't able to come through. Roman, Bregman's story coming up short. Fourth inning. Nate Lowe, unfortunately, not too much for Nate Lowe here tonight. But he had a fly out, tip of the cap to Gunnar Henderson, making up for that play with Wong. Made a very nice play to get Lowe out. And then Massa, he got on, but nothing else after that. But then the fifth inning. You're needing something against Sagano. Needing something. Wong, another base hit. Roman with a base hit getting on. And then Sagano hanging a splitter to Jaron Duran. Big shot center field. Made it 4-3. Gotta love that. First home run since August 4th against Kansas City. And like I said at the beginning of the show, Duran has been a little cold over his last 15 games, including tonight's home run, hitting 200. So he needed that one. But after that, no more offense from this Red Sox team. They were counting on the bullpen the rest of the way. And Steven Matz, he came in after Fitz, was able to lock it down. He did give up a double there to Dylan Carlson. But then Matz with a good play, throwing him out at third base on the fielder's choice. Going blank on who that was. I'm going completely blank on who that was on the Orioles lineup. Someone hit a fielder's choice. I'm so sorry. But making the nice play, getting Carlson out at third base. And this is where I like Steven Matz. This is where I like him. Comes in, couple innings, low leverage spot, keeps you in the game. This is where, sure, you might be down, but these low leverage guys, they're so key. And the Red Sox, they've been having their problems over the last couple of weeks with these guys coming in. You're down a couple of runs and keeping the game close, right? And Matt's, I like this spot for him. I think it's a good spot. And in the 8th inning, holy cow, Garrett Whitlock. I love me some Garrett Whitlock, man. I was the one. Okay, maybe not the only one, but I was definitely one of them. When they made Garrett Whitlock a starter, I hate that I'm even bringing this up again because it still bothers me. I understand why Garrett Whitlock wanted to be a starter because obviously, there's more value in doing that. And, that was something that he had done. But he was so good back in 2021 as a reliever. He was so good. And it made me think of Papelbon, all right? Because you go back to when Papelbon, when he first came up with the Red Sox, they were using him out of the bullpen. And then they were, talking about him being a starter in spring training, right? He was getting some starting innings during that spring. And he said, no, I want to be the closer. And to me, I just felt like Whitlock should have always been that. Who knows if the injuries would have been kept at bay, if he would have stayed in the bullpen. I don't know. But I'm just so glad he's back to bullpen, being this high leverage bullpen guy. He's so good. When he's on top of his game, this guy is just almost unhittable. He gave up a double to Gunnar Henderson. So I take that back a little bit, right? He can get hit. He is human. But then he struck out the next 3. I mean, holy cow. Way to make up for your mistake. Struck out Mountcastle on a sinker. Mayo Cowser on sliders. Ugh. Just so nasty. And then Chapman coming in, locking it down. 25th save. He's now 25 for 27 on the year. Got a little help from Bregman there. It's Chapman. He doesn't need all that much help anyway. But Bregman made a nice play to get Dylan Carlson out. And hey, for Bregman to make a good play like that in a 1-run game, hey, you got to love that, man. Great win for the Red Sox here tonight. And I see you in the chat. Doc Jazz, we can win 1-run games? Yes, we can. We can absolutely do it. And we can do it on the road. Good win for the Red Sox here tonight. We're going to get to the standings. We're going to get to Game 2 for tomorrow. Before we do, though, one more word from our sponsor tonight. We'll be right back.
FT fam, welcome to the world's most comfortable swimwear. For a moment, we are talking about Fair Harbor. We actually have some show and tell today. This is the liner that you're working with inside of the shorts and the bathing suits.
You know what the best part is about this, Scott?
What?
They have a lot of different options because these are clearly yours because I would never order this pattern, but
that
they
is
look
so
great
me.
on you.
That is so me.
These are so you. Mine are a little bit more plain than this.
Yes.
But they are super comfortable. The liner, I love liner shorts. Some people don't. But these liners are better than most that I've had on, if not all of them.
Yeah,
because
this is the best liner out there.
No mesh. All of the above is perfect.
Exactly. It's really good. You got to give it a shot. Also, fun random fact, you get a new shirt. It smells really good. So head to fairharborclothing.com/FOUL and use code FOUL for 20% off your first purchase. Once again, fairharbor, HARBOR clothing.com/FOUL for 20% off your first purchase and use that promo code FOUL so they know FT sent.
All righty. Let's get to the last segment of the show. And during the break there, I actually went up and pulled some numbers. And because I'm thinking, where is Garrett Whitlock ranking right now among the top relievers in the game? And coming into tonight, Garrett Whitlock, when it came to Fangraph wins above replacement among all qualified relievers, Whitlock is 8th overall coming into tonight. So we just added a few strikeouts to that. So will that be enough to surpass David Bednar for the 7th spot? We'll just have to wait and see. But, when you're looking at 4 of these guys here in the top 8, well, Chapman is number 3 overall. It's funny how the top reliever in the game, according to wins above replacement on Fangraphs, it's actually Adrian Morahan, right? Who's one of the setup guys. Brian Abreu, he's number 2, one of the setup guys. Chapman, when you're looking at simply just F-WAR, Chapman is the best closer in baseball. And then you got Robert Suarez right after him. Cade Smith, another setup guy, coming in 5th. Yohan Duran, closer for the Phillies currently. He's in 6th. Bednar's at 7. And then Whitlock is at 8. Coming into tonight, 2.72 ERA, 2.53 on the FIP, 10.7 strikeouts per 9. Man, oh man. Gotta love what Whitlock's doing. Anyway, just wanted to pull that up really quick. Let's check out the standings. Let's see what's going on here. It doesn't look like there was too much action here tonight. So I think the Yankees, let me refresh the page just in case. Were the Yankees playing tonight? I thought they were playing tonight. The Yankees, they won. Okay, yeah. So, the Yankees won. They won 10-5 against the Nationals. So, everything pretty much stays in place there. The Red Sox still a half a game ahead of the Yankees for the first wild card as of right now. The Mariners are playing the Padres. That's actually a pretty good matchup right there. Mariners-Padres. Good West Coast matchup. They're just getting started there in Seattle. It's 1-0 Mariners as of right now. Cal Raleigh hitting his 50th home run of the year. Man, oh man. The big 50. Holy cow. What a year for Cal Raleigh, man. Holy cow. But let's see if the Mariners can hang on to that one tonight. If they do drop that one, they are going to fall another game behind. So we'll see how that goes. The Royals, they lost tonight against the White Sox. The Rangers, they are playing right now. They're still 4.5 out. So we'll keep an eye on all this. And we'll check it again tomorrow. So let's get to tomorrow's game here. And a bit of an interesting matchup here. Bit of an interesting guy starting for the Orioles. Who remembers Kyle Bradish? This guy was one of the top pitchers in the game not too long ago, but then he ended up missing a lot of time after getting Tommy John. Let's actually pull up Bradish here. Those numbers were very good not too long ago. Taking a look here. Back in 2023, he had a 2.83 ERA, 3.27 on the FIP. Pretty solid strikeout to walk ratio, 9 strikeouts per 9, 2.3 walks per 9. And 2024, he was still looking very good. He had 8 starts last year, 12 strikeouts per 9, little over 3 walks per 9, but still, he was keeping the ball in the yard. I think he only gave up like 1 or 2 home runs in those 8 starts. 2.75 ERA, 2.51 FIP. He was looking really good. And then he went down. So this will be his first start since going down after getting Tommy John. So that's interesting. But like always with these guys, what's the pitch count going to look like? Obviously the Orioles, they're not playing for anything this year. So I would imagine they're not going to push Bradish too long, maybe like 5 innings or so. Maybe that's the goal. We'll see. But there's always going to be rust that comes into play. How's his stuff going to be looking after missing a lot of time at the major league level? We'll see. But I think Giolito is our guy for tomorrow. 8-2 on the year, 3.72 on the ERA. And taking a look, now it's been a while since, any of these guys have seen Kyle Bradish, but from a couple of years, last year as well as the year before, some of these guys have seen him. Duran does have a home run against Bradish in his career. Connor Wong has a home run against Bradish. I mean, things are just looking great for Connor Wong as of late. This guy is just on a great run right now. I mean, could you imagine he gets the start tomorrow and he's able to do something? Well, he's seen him pretty well. He's got a couple of hits against him, including a homer. Nate Lowe, he's got 7 ABs against him as well. Bregman, he's got 6 ABs, only has a hit. So Trevor Story, he's 0 for 10 against him. So anyway, but this is a bit of a wild card here for the Orioles tomorrow. And for the Red Sox, hey, see if they can pull this one off. We will see. Now against Giolito, not a whole lot of success as of right now. I mean, Mountcastle, he's got a couple of hits. Other than that, though, not much else. I believe Giolito pitched. Did he pitch in Baltimore this year? I'm going blank. He pitched against Baltimore earlier in the season. And that was actually one of Giolito. Remember Giolito, he was very up and down in that first month. And then, but one of his better starts from May was against the Orioles. He went 7 innings, 6 hits, 0 earned, 6 Ks. So, I mean, it's been a little while since then. But hey, Giolito, we will see what happens. But everybody, I am going to start wrapping it up right there. And hey, good win for tonight. You got to love that. Thank you, everyone, for coming out here tonight. Good crowd in here tonight. Love the support here. A lot of familiar faces. We got Moose, we got Joe, we got TD, Andrew, Emily. What's going on? Doc, TD. Who else we got in here? Mason. What's going on? Julio. How we doing? Thank you, everybody. Appreciate all of you for always stopping on by. We'll be back here tomorrow. Game 2 post-game coverage. Good win here tonight. Gotta love that. Couple of big boppers was all you needed. Garrett Whitlock, the guy's got ice in his veins. Hopefully Richard Fitz is going to be okay. If not, I do wonder what the next move is going to be. Now, Kyle Harrison, he is on the 40. I'll say one more thing on this. Kyle Harrison is on the 40-man roster. So I wonder if that could come into play. But then again, I don't know. Maybe it's my heart talking. Maybe I just want to see Peyton Tolley. I'm just freaking love the guy. I mean, I just want to see that guy up with the Red Sox. I don't know, man. I would love it. We will see what ends up happening. I would imagine you're going to see some kind of a corresponding move this week. We'll pay attention to the news. I'm sure we're going to hear something on Fitz in the next day or two. We'll see. But everybody, until then, I'll talk to you next time.